Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest. That's where you register. Then one winner and a guest will receive game tickets, hotel accommodations, autographed memorabilia, and more. You can register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. This is the Buzz Williams Show. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. As we wrap up the weekend that was, the Aggies winning at DePaul, and look ahead to the week that is. I think that's correct. I'm not sure. I'm not being graded any longer, so I'm not sure I have to be correct. SMU on Wednesday. Boise State on Saturday. We head back up to Dickies Arena and play that game against Boise State. 7 o'clock back at Reed Arena, first time since beating Abilene Christian a couple of weeks ago. And then, as we said, back up to Dickies Arena in Fort Worth for that one. On Friday, the Aggies go wire to wire in that win over DePaul. 31 is a career best for Boots Radford, 21 for Wade Taylor, 12 for Henry Coleman, 6 steals for Wade, about 6 floor burns for Wade Taylor in that one. He was first to the floor for sure, and the Aggies get that 82-66 win over DePaul. With head coach Buzz Williams, I'm Andrew Monaco. Howdy, Coach.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. That was just a terrific win on Friday. And, Buzz, I know you bounced back on that Sunday for the win over Loyola of Chicago, and it showed a little bit of maturity to go on the road on a game on a Friday against a team like DePaul and play as well as they did.
Yeah, it was a long week. The massacre the previous Friday in Myrtle Beach against Colorado, a long day on Saturday, a step in the right direction on Sunday, late travel back Sunday night. And then we were off Monday and Tuesday. We had planned that. We planned the month in advance so we don't make emotional decisions, which is probably good after our performance in Myrtle. Our guys responded to all of the things that we had to say and show on Wednesday, full day of work Wednesday, and then Thanksgiving dinner that you and your wife attended for the family and staff Wednesday night. And then we worked Thursday, Thanksgiving, and then traveled there. And then our early game on Friday. I thought our shoot-around at the hotel was the best it had been all year. And I think that just some of those names that you mentioned as I was walking in, it was good to reintroduce myself to them. Glad that they joined us again. We needed that. But I thought that from start to finish, the scouting report, playing to the scouting report, our energy, our spirit, all of the intangible things were much more evident on both ends of the floor.
You know, it's interesting. When you fall behind, it takes so much energy to fall behind, but we forget and say, okay, what did you not do to fall behind? Conversely, when you play from ahead, as this team did on Friday, almost wire to wire against DePaul, what did you do to play from ahead? That's what was really good to see. And again, you talk about airtime is our time, but diving on the floor, contested rebound. Anybody can rebound if there's no one around you. Yep. Dexter Dennis has an ability to rebound. Anderson Garcia in traffic to do it that way. It seemed like the Aggies were able to do all those things correctly, give them the lead, and then really played well with the lead.
One of the things that we talked about specific to DePaul, they had played 5 games before we played them, and 82% of their possessions, a shot happened in less than 3 passes, which speaks to how fast that they want to play. And I think one of the reasons why we were able to set the tone, so to say, was in that game, we gave up 15 points in transition. And in our game, it's called transition volume rate. So the percentage of times that DePaul has the ball, and it would be considered transition by nerds. 50% of the possession, 50% of their offensive possessions, DePaul was in transition. And we only gave up 15 points. In the other 50% of the possessions, our defensive points per possession was 0.59, which is very, very, very good. But we did a good job of getting back in transition and contesting a quick shot if there was one, and 50% of the time there was. And then in the times when it became a half-court game, our defense was even better. And so I would say that would be one of the core things that I would say that allowed us to start the game and kind of stay on point throughout all 40 minutes.
Sometimes I say that defense travels, right, if you can take that on the road. But those points that you were talking about, they work home, road, they work anywhere, correct?
Yeah, we have to we do have to find what travels, and you can't give up points in transition. And if we can make it a half-court game and play to our rules, I think we've made some strides. I think some of that came to life last Sunday against Loyola, and I think some of it for sure came to life Friday at DePaul. Maybe we should only play teams from Chicago. Maybe we should schedule Northwestern.
Northwestern, right? Yeah.
University of Illinois at Chicago.
The Flames of UIC, yeah.
Maybe we could call Valpo Chicago. Maybe we should only play teams from Chicago in November.
2-0. You're 2-0 against those teams, which is good. We'll talk more about that and some more about the schedule for Texas A&M, and I'd like to ask you a little bit later on about your feeling coaching against friends. I'm interested about that. That's all straight ahead on the Buzz Williams Show. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Stay with us. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Not everyone is a morning person yet, but with Costa Vida's new breakfast tacos, everyone will be. Try our bacon, egg, and cheese or specialties like the machaca beef and egg or sweet pork, egg, and cheese. Stop by our drive-thru any day from 7 to 10:30 a.m. Order online through the Costa Vida app or the Costa Vida website. Become a morning person at Costa Vida. It's the Buzz Williams Show, and we are at Rudy's talking Aggie basketball for the next, let's say, 45 minutes. We're going till the top of the hour, and Buzz, this game against DePaul, I was able to talk with Coach Lair a little bit at dinner Thursday evening. Because of what happened last year, did your schedule change this non-conference? Did you change it a little bit in this offseason?
Yes, sir. Abruptly changed, which is not what you want because the contracts have already been signed. So you have to handle the buyout, if that's the right word, relative to the contract, which is not an efficient use of taxpayer dollars. In my career, I've always felt like the conference tournament would be a part of invitations, and we learned that it wasn't. And so we had our non-conference schedule done before the season was over, and then after the NIT, we went back and changed. I think it was 3 games. DePaul was one. I can't remember if SMU was one, and somebody else. And it's just it's so hard to tell because of the portal. You never know.
Yeah.
It used to be based off your net score when the season ended or when you signed the contract, and now that doesn't really apply. And so we maneuvered / postponed / canceled. I think each of the 3 were different scenarios, and then added 3 new teams. So in November, we play 3 home games, which will be the least amount we've ever played. We play 3 neutral site games, which is normally what we play. And then we played a road game, so that's the 7 for November. And then in December, neutral site again, road game again, and then I think I haven't memorized December schedule, but we're going to play 2 after Christmas, and then that means we play 2 before Christmas. So that's 4. Are we only playing 6 games in December?
We have Oregon State on the 11th.
Yeah, right? Oregon State at home, Northwestern State at home, Prairie View at home, Boise State neutral, at Memphis. Wofford at home.
Northwestern State, Prairie View.
Yeah, so there's the 6 games that we're playing.
Yeah.
So Boise State was one we added. That was for sure a net schedule. At DePaul was a net schedule. And I can't remember.
Memphis was already on the schedule.
Yeah,
right?
Memphis we'd already signed because the we play 18 conference games. I think Big 12 plays 18 conference games, and so it's beginning. The AAC is beginning to be a team that there's a reason why they're available. I can't remember what it is. And we're having a little bit of trouble with that, talking about next year's non-conference schedule, trying to figure it out. But that's why Memphis is one, SMU is one, Boise is obviously in the Mountain West, DePaul in the Big East. So, yes, sir, we had to make some changes.
Well, you have different conferences. ACC, Big Ten will play 20 conference games, right? You have
that.
And we're not in the challenge.
Yeah, and I think that was part of it. We're not in the challenge this year. And then Coach mentioned to me today the challenge is over relative to the Big 12. Now we're playing the ACC because ESPN has both conferences. So that'll be – I think we're on the road next year in the ACC challenge, which will be immediately after the Thanksgiving ESPN tournament in Orlando. So that'll be fun. So you probably won't go to any of that. That'll be a long trip.
If I have a chance, if next Thanksgiving they play
we'll just bring your wife.
Somewhere around Baton Rouge.
We'll just bring your wife and let her do color and let Coach Thornton do play-by-play. I'm sure that would be. I might as well
say right here for the record, you like her better than me.
Yes. And I'm sure most people in here would say the same.
Correct.
They would about me. It's not specific to you. It would be the same with me.
I'm not even going to argue with you. You know, we have Buzz Williams. This is the Buzz Williams Show. We'll step aside, continue when we return to Rudy's. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. All Hands Craft Cocktails is a new bar-strength canned cocktail made with 6 times distilled vodka and 10% ABV to make sure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your drink. All Hands Craft Cocktails, founded by Aggies and a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. Last year during basketball, this is called ad-libbing. Last year during basketball, Buzz Williams got his 300th career victory. This year during soccer, Coach G got number 500. And what a wonderful video. We got a chance to see it at our all-staff meeting for athletics. The all-staff meeting. Buzz, the number of former players that Coach G sent in videos thanking him, and I mean all walks of life. Some are still playing. Most are not, right? Because that's the way athletics is. But all impacted by Coach G, Coach Guerreri. Nope. Take this one.
This one's not. Nah, he's got it working.
Here you go.
Coach G is my favorite coach. And here's why. I never said that when Coach Blair was here. And I'm not going to say it again because I love Coach Joni. But Coach G was here when I was an assistant here. And I don't know that I can articulate how the impact that he has had coaching a non-revenue sport. He's been at one place, and what he's built, comparatively speaking, to any other program in the country. I don't think that there's anybody that's built a program that has been this sustainable at the level that he has had it, on the foundation and character at which he has operated. I'm Coach's biggest fan, and I was when I was here as an assistant. You saw at boot camp this year, I wore the women's soccer beat cancer.
Gold.
Yeah, turn it gold. Yeah. I love Coach
because
G.
everybody gets to wear a jersey, correct?
Yes.
The jersey.
Yeah, and so I wore Johnny Manziel's year one, and in COVID we didn't have boot camp or anything else except losing, and then last year I wore. Last year, I can't remember what I wore last year, but then when I saw the Turn It Gold, I had to get one.
I know in the future you're wearing something from Dusty Baker. That's another story.
Yeah, I could wear. I have one of Coach Baker's. I could wear one of Coach's.
Now there's a method to this madness, right? Because Guess who's here?
Well, I appreciate that. And this is part
Coach
of the,
G, this is the first time, as much
the,
as I'm saying good things about you, this is the first time you've been to my radio show.
No, I've snuck in and out before.
Just didn't say hello?
Well, you were busy. This is a work night.
Okay.
Because I am a Rudy's Barbecue fan. So just for the record, I do support our sponsor. And I think
and let's not forget that in the fall, the Aggie Soccer Hour, you and David Ellis get to chop it up
right.
for an hour.
We sit right
nice.
here.
Yeah,
we sit right
I've
here.
never been to your radio show.
No, exactly. I haven't seen
Nor have I bought anything from Rudy's except during my radio show.
Have you had the green chili stew?
No, sir.
So you got to come here and try the green chili stew, especially when the temperatures drop below 70, like today it didn't drop below 70. But honestly, it really has been great to see what you've done with this program. And I went over and spoke with the Consol boys soccer team today, and one of the messages I had for them was just Sir Alex Ferguson was the 26-year manager for Manchester United, one of the great coaches of any sport. And one of his quotes goes basically along the lines of, effort will always beat talent when talent doesn't try as hard. And your group is evidence not by talent, but by effort and what you guys put out there. Now,
thank you.
You work up a hell of a sweat every game, and that shows the effort that's going on there. But just the way your guys play, and last year was just it was such a joy to see how that hard work paid off. Yep. And you could see the guys saw it. They go, oh, well, if I put this effort in every day, then something good is going to come out of it. And that doesn't come without some leadership coming from you. So that's big time. I really do. For all of us, it's neat to see, because Texas A&M is, by our founding, is a blue-collar, hard-working bunch of guys. And I think my girls have passed on that as well. They work hard, and the women on this campus do. But you guys have really represented well, and it's been fun to see.
How many games do you play in regular season in soccer?
We usually play about 18.
Wow. You guys know he won his 500th game, and he's been the only coach of women's soccer at Texas A&M, and he just completed his 30th season.
Yep.
So your winning percentage must be even better than the 500 wins.
It's pretty good, but it's
be.
Mostly because we win a lot of games at home. I mean, home field advantage here in Aggieland is pretty special. Now, we play about 18 regular season games, and then when we've made some runs, we've done some well. We've done pretty good.
Yeah, because if you only play 18, you're winning about 15 out of 18 to get to 530 years, right?
Yeah, that's about right.
You're winning a lot of postseason games too.
So but again, it's been fun to represent the school. It's been like you said, as a non-revenue, as the women's football team here on campus. It's been it really has been a joy, and it's been some of the great coaches that have come through. You were here with Billy Clyde, and just across the board, the number of coaches, great people that I've seen here and have had a chance to work alongside since 1993. And I was the last hired by John David Crow, if you know who that is.
Yes, sir.
And just some remarkable folks. I say all the time, I'm the luckiest guy you know. And sitting up here, I think I proved it again.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
That's pretty remarkable.
I know.
That's more remarkable than 500 wins in 30 years.
Actually, I was hired. John David Crow hired me when I was 29. And so I'm 59 right now.
Yeah.
And you got 20 more years to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. Gary Blair said I should, so we'll see.
Yeah. So you have Turn It Gold, you have Buzz's Bunch, Kids First Fund for Jimbo. Jim Schlossnagle also does the Turn It Gold. There's always the philanthropy for you guys as well, because you've got to give something back, don't you?
Well, we try to. It's one of the things that we try to teach our players, that you're not here to take. You're here to be an example for what is the good of this university. And there's a lot of caring people, a lot of givers in the school. Texas A&M is the #1 service university in the country for a reason. And we are here to serve. And we find that the more you, just like anything, the more you give, the more you get back. I talk about the effort that your guys put in. The more they give, definitely the more that they get back. And
that's really
it's the same thing that goes with everything that we do in our community. And I've got, I guess I'll do a spiel. I've got my charity golf tournament is coming up on Monday. And again,
thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. And we do need 2 more teams. If anybody would like to come and sign up with us, go to
Well,
CoachGGolf.com.
I'll pay for the 2 teams.
You want to come play?
No. But I'll pay for the 8 players to play.
Wow.
That helps?
That helps a whole lot.
You can find 8 guys. I'll pay for it. Just tell Luke. It's my donation to. It's for your charity.
This is for to help local kids here in town, and it's all 100% of the money stays in to help local families.
So by NCAA rules, I can do this.
I believe you can. If not, we will make sure that you don't do it.
I don't want to get in trouble with the NCAA again.
CoachGGolf.com.
CoachGGolf.com. Yep.
Is there any gear? Is there like if I buy 2 teams, I get a T-shirt?
Oh, I can get you some stuff. I can get you some stuff.
Yeah.
You'll get some stuff.
I'll wear it. Can you get it to me by Wednesday, and then I'll wear it in post game, and then I can say CoachGGolf.com.
We'll figure that out. You know,
and
one
the
of the
first
things
8
that
people.
he wears,
I quit social media. I quit looking at it when we got beat, so I'm going to stay off of it. But because everybody tells me how to coach, and it gets in my brain.
A lot of geniuses out there.
Yeah, I'm done with that. But somebody can orchestrate whoever the first 8 people that want to play.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things you talk about wearing stuff. I see Coach going around campus, and he's got this vest on. You know, that when he's out doing his exercise, one of his exercise routines.
Yes.
So tell him about the vest you wear.
Yes, sir. It's a long story.
And how it gets to be the weight that it is and the weight that it was.
Yeah, so I wore a 25-pound vest when I did all of my walks prior to my 50th birthday. And because I'm trying to fight old age, now I wear a 45-pound vest when I walk. And so, it just goes over the top of you and you just add weights to it. But it's a heavy burden to walk in, but I feel like I'm carrying a heavy burden whether I'm wearing it or not. So it works out fine.
And he said he was spurred on by it because there were some 7-year-olds that were carrying more weight initially. So yes. Buzz isn't going to get outdone by anybody. I like the challenge all the time.
Yeah, thank you.
I absolutely love the video that was played.
Yeah, that was
former
neat,
players, Coach.
That brought a tear to my eye.
If you've ever wondered about the impact, I think that really – I know you never have. I know you've never worried about that. But you brought in women of character. And I love that it's all walks of life and all the smiles to congratulate you. I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, we had a reunion this season, night that we beat Auburn, and we had over 100 of the former players back, plus all of their kids and their husbands, and there was more than 250 people at half. I saw pictures at halftime out there, which is pretty neat. And I've got this year coming up. I'll have the first legacy player playing for me. So,
will you?
The daughter of a former player?
Daughter of Bryn Blaylock, who was our first one of our first All-Americans. Her and her husband is Ryan Roop, who used to be a Friday night starter for Aggie baseball. So no pressure on this poor kid.
When you win the national championship in women's soccer, approximately the game would be played when?
Well, as a matter of fact, the Final Four is this coming weekend. So
we're looking for a backup radio host when ours can't travel with us. So I was wondering if the soccer season would be over and then we could just sub you in.
Well, that would be a lot of fun. I want to come to
You can start now.
Well, it seems to be going really well, Monaco. You're kind of the third wheel in this deal currently. So we could just sub G in when he travels with football coach, you and Coach Thornton, and you guys can maybe talk about what's happening. And if you don't, the people that are listening, they'll be entertained by
just ad-lib on
former Aggie stories.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me. I really just came to pick up some barbecue.
You did great.
But
it's less times that I have to talk. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you, Coach.
Listen, good luck to you guys this week.
Thank you, Coach.
Throughout the season, my friend.
Much admiration.
I'm a big fan.
Much admiration.
CoachGGolf.com to register for his tournament. We'll have more of the Coach G and the Buzz Williams Show when we return. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Texas A&M Athletics has launched the free 12th Man Rewards program that thanks fans 13 and older for standing with the 12th man to create a home field advantage for our student athletes and our coaches. Download or log in to the 12th Man mobile app. Create your 12th Man Rewards profile today. Attend events, get points, redeem rewards. For details, visit 12thmanrewards.com. And if I'm not mistaken, 2 times rewards on Wednesday for the Aggies and SMU at 7 at Reed Arena. We continue with the Buzz Williams Show. And before talking with Coach G, a friend, right?
A friend of ours.
What is it like coaching against friends of yours on the sidelines?
Well, I try to avoid it at all costs. First of all, it's hard to have friends in this business. And so when you have to play against them, if you can avoid it, I think it's best. Just because somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. And prior to the game, it probably impedes the normal relationship. You know, I don't talk to hardly anybody. I talk to my wife, but I don't talk to many people, particularly during the season. And so, like, I called Stubbs Saturday morning early, and just because it's hard. And I think when you're the head coach, there's only so many people you want to talk to. And then the other part of that is, in truth, there's only so many people you have time to talk to because you got to get to the next thing. And so, you know, to have an hour here or there to, like, let me call somebody and say what's up, you don't have an hour. And you're trying to find an hour just to maybe be quiet. And so if I can, I try to avoid it.
Yeah.
But I don't have that many friends, so it doesn't preclude who we play very often. But if I can, I for sure don't want to do it in non-conference.
Ian is asking, which coach do you wish you had the chance to learn from?
I would say Jimmy Johnson is who I grew up admiring. Pat Riley is who I grew up admiring. I've met both. Haven't done a great job of establishing a relationship with either. But those would be the two people that if I could spend a day with and just learn, those would be the two coaches that I would want to spend time with. Not to really talk about out-of-bounds plays or any of that. I think they were the best at getting their team to be on the same page, at getting their team to play for one another, at getting their team to play hard. And I don't think that was specific to plays. I think it was specific to the camaraderie and the spirit and the personality in which they led, managed. I think coaching is somewhat overrated at times, but leading and managing is probably more important than coaching. And I think that when I was growing up, those would be the two that I've only been a fan of three people, and that would be two of the three, and Michael Jordan was the other. Yeah. And I've had a chance to get to know all three of those people, and I feel humbled by it. But just to spend a day with, those would be the two coaches.
It's no mistake that Jimmy Johnson won at Miami, Dallas, Riley with the Lakers, and what he's done with the Heat, right? That permeates usually the organizations they're with, doesn't it?
Well, Coach Riley's still the president. And I think he's 79 now, and he just I've read everything ever written. I've read every book ever written. Jimmy Johnson's book came out 12 days ago. I pre-ordered it, and it still hadn't got here. I asked Luke why it hasn't got here, and my credit card was denied, but I didn't find that out until this morning. So I sent the GA throughout College Station to try to find it. Cal said it was sold out in College Station, so I'm not going to get that until Friday. But I've read everything ever written, any interview, any podcast, anything on both of those guys.
I know Pat Riley's book, Doc Rivers was head coach in Orlando, and to have some fun, Doc Rivers wrote a book, and I brought out Pat Riley's book, and I showed it to him, and he just looked at me dead in the eye and goes, I lived that book right there.
Doc played for him, and then obviously I got to know Doc. Doc was on the Board of Regents when I was hired as the head coach at Marquette, and I've read Doc's book and have had great interaction and relationships with Doc since that time. He's one of the best, too, in regards to leading and managing, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. You pick a pro basketball coach, football coach. We know your relationship with Dusty Baker, baseball, Bruce Arians and Gus Bradley in the past.
Yeah, Coach Gus, they've been talking to him about him in this game, the beat writer from the Indianapolis Star reached out to me. What he's doing is pretty impressive, too. That's who Seattle 3 is named after when Coach Gus was the DC of the Seahawks when they won the Super Bowl.
Some coaches just are so focused on just their sport. Could be college or it could be just basketball, but not you. You've got the wider vision, don't you?
Well, I don't really pay much attention to the strategy of it all. I'm just trying to learn the leadership that comes from it. And I think regardless of sport, regardless of gender, there's always something you can learn from a leadership standpoint. Gus is one. Speaking of Gus, I think he's one of the best leader of men I have ever been around. And Dusty Baker, I don't know that there's anybody close. His story, he played in the Negro League because he wasn't allowed to play in Major League Baseball. I can't remember exactly how many years that was. Then he played in the major leagues and finished in the top 20 in hits of all time. And he has been a coach since that time, and I think that there's 4 years that he was fired that he didn't coach, and he's in the top 10 rocking wins, or 12th. Yeah, he's top 15 in wins as a coach. Yeah. He's 73 years old, and he is a magnet when it comes to people.
It's another guy who won everywhere.
Everywhere he's been.
Not just a couple places, Buzz. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
He was. And the players talk about him like.
I think he's won a division title at every team that he's coached.
Yeah, he has. He is Buzz Williams. This is the Buzz Williams Show. We'll continue from Rudy's 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Basketball and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood, and Rudy's smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com. It is the Buzz Williams Show. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station, and a couple more segments with the head coach this week. SMU Wednesday, 7 o'clock, 6:30, Dos Equis tip-off show. Saturday, Boise State, Dickies Arena, Fort Worth. That will be a 6 o'clock tip, so 5:30 is when we'll join you with the pregame show. Another question Steve is asking, because we saw this Saturday after the 38-23 win over LSU at Kyle Field. Buzz, when you see the fans rush the field like football, how do you deal with it in basketball, and is it more dangerous?
Interesting. I would say it's more dangerous. I understand as a fan, how exciting everything is, but in transparency, that sort of stuff, it scares me. I'm afraid somebody's going to get hit from behind. I'm afraid one of our guys are going to tear their Achilles, or because there's just chaos going on. And so, in my career, when it's happened, and I know it's about to happen, I literally tell everybody on the bench, head to the locker room before the game's over. So I don't know exactly how to respond, but I would say it's more dangerous in an arena just because it's a more confined area, yet it's probably relative because there's more people at a football game than at a basketball game. But I'm just always afraid something bad's going to happen.
Right. Steve also had a question from earlier about the strangest place you've played a basketball game. It was a couple weeks ago when games were being played on aircraft carriers and things like that. Is there one that stands out? Did you ever have an outdoor game?
Well, we were the last aircraft carrier game for a long time, about 8 or 9 years. Our game was canceled immediately prior to tip. We were scheduled to play Ohio State in South Carolina off one of the naval bases, and we warmed up. The locker room was in the ship. We come back after warming up. It's about to tip off, and condensation had happened on the floor. And you know how I shake everybody's hands on the bench prior to – well, I shake the starters' hands, and then I begin to make the line and shake everybody's hands. We're playing Ohio State. I shake the starters' hands, and so they're going out for jump ball, and then I start the progression with everybody else. And I could hear one of our guys, Vander, hollering at me. He was like, "Coach, coach, coach." And I turned around, and I was shaking the sub's hands. And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Coach, look at this." And he kind of like stepped like he was sliding on glass. And I was like, "Oh." And Debbie Antonelli, that was on NBCSports.com or whatever that was back when, she was calling the game, and we tried it for like 30 minutes. Everybody's out there wiping, and they're doing all sorts of trying to mop it up, and so they had to cancel the game.
Yeah.
And then so I never played on one but was supposed to. And then I always thought that playing at Syracuse was a very unique environment. The Carrier Dome, which is where they play football, and they just put the court basically in the end zone, and the bowl of the end zone is where the majority of the people sit, and then on the 5-yard line to the 10-yard line, they just bring in bleachers. And so it's like, I mean, there's 30,000 people at the game all the way up the rafters, but you're looking across the court, and there's bleachers that are 12 rows high, like risers that you bring in for stage productions. And then, like, when you shoot, like there is no whatever they say to kids when the rim's just like the court's just in the end zone.
Yeah.
And so, like, the stands are way back there.
Yeah.
And so your vision on the rim is just
I mean, that's how they've done Final Fours now. They
Yeah.
used to cut off
Sell
those
more
domes,
tickets.
but it's you never play that way until the most important games of the year.
Yeah.
That's what gets me. It's kind of I don't know, counterproductive.
a lot of advertising dollars.
Yeah, there is. That's for sure. And that always does the talking. By the way, I'm still getting paid, even though you and G had that segment. But
it counts as what show? This is my fourth?
Yeah. And our next one's not until December 12th.
Let's finish this one good.
Okay, you got it. One more segment to come on the Buzz Williams Show. We're at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station, as we are every time. Stay with us. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Download the 12th Man mobile app. Get the latest news, videos, live game audio, and in-venue promotions for Texas A&M athletics. Plus, you can buy, transfer, and manage your tickets from inside the app. Visit 12thman.com/app today. Go mobile and gig 'em. And in our last segment of the Buzz Williams Show for this week, we are together next Monday. I was wrong. The 12th will be the last show for the calendar year. So the 5th, now I'm either going to see you or your assistants next week. I'm not sure which one, because you may have just gotten permission not to come, and then I'll see you again on the 12th.
I try to hold that one for the assistants when we've lost a bunch of games and let them feel the heat a little bit. And or they're telling me I need to go recruit. And so I'm holding it. That's why I always keep up with what number it is.
Yeah, it's
on my calendar. This is the 4th.
This is number 4.
So December the 5th will be.
That'll be number 5. December 12th will be number 6. So we'll be halfway through on December 12th.
That's good.
How about that?
That's real good. There's 12 that we have to do?
Dozen. Yep. 12. That's a pretty good number here. We like that number here.
Yeah, that's good.
We like that one.
Good point.
Getting a chance to play in North Texas in that Dallas area, does that help you for recruiting, Buzz, to be up there?
I don't know if it helps for recruiting. I do think that it helps for all of the Aggies that don't have to travel as far. Dickies is a nice arena. We need to do better than we've ever done in Dickies on Saturday, but I do think that it's a good change of pace for the alum, that they don't have to come all the way to College Station. And I think some of the people that are typically near College Station sometimes travel up there. So we had a pretty good showing.
There's a lot of maroon.
Chicago.
There was a lot of maroon.
And I don't even know what's going on until I walk out there. And if my wife's there, I wave at her, and then I don't pay attention to anything. And then I walked out there Saturday. My wife wasn't there, but our youngest 3 children were there, so I was trying to see where they were to make sure everything was okay. And when I was looking for them, I was like, whoa, there's a good contingent of Aggies that were here.
Yeah.
We appreciate it if if you listen to the show.
That was a lot of fun to see them. And plus you have guys like Four and Julius and Mo. They get to go home, so to speak, and play some family and friends like Henry did at Myrtle Beach. He had some folks.
Yeah. We need those guys from the DFW area to play better in their homecoming than Henry played in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Good point.
And they will.
It's been a good group. So SMU Wednesday, you'll get tested by them. Nice win over Lamar for them. They come in 3-3.
Yeah, they beat Lamar, I think, by 25 yesterday. New coach, a lot of new players, many transfers that are having an impact for them. Our staff has done a good job in 2 days before prep. We had kind of installed all of the things relative to SMU today. We'll be able to do it a second time tomorrow. I haven't had a chance to study Boise State, but I know that they run what I call tricky offense. A very, very good coach, very good offensive coach for sure. And they played in Myrtle Beach. But because of what was going on with us, I didn't have a chance to pay attention to what they were doing. But I know that after CU beat us the way CU beat us, they beat CU the way CU beat us. So when we wake up Thursday morning, we got a lot of work to do relative to them.
You got it. Buzz, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Great
thank
show.
you so
really
much.
Appreciate it. SMU on Wednesday, 6:30 Dos Equis tip-off, so that's when we will join you next. My thanks to Cale Rowlands. He is the producer of the Buzz Williams Show in the Learfield Network studios, and to Kevin Menchow. He is our engineer here at Rudy's. For Buzz Williams, I'm Andrew Monaco. We thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, and gig 'em. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield.